Hello, everybody. This is Dr. Duck Wong, world famous bariatric surgeon, author of 13 books. Hi, I'm here to talk about what's really happening with President Donald Trump. The blockbuster news this morning is that he tested positive, along with First Lady Melania Trump, tested positive for coronavirus and is now in isolation in the White House, as he should be. He is carefully being monitored by White House physicians, and we wish him the best of luck. Now, listen, no politics aside, I don't care what y'all think, but I'm really apolitical. Nobody should have coronavirus, and nobody should have a bad outcome from coronavirus. So we are all here to wish him a full and speedy recovery, regardless of your politics, what you believe. We're going to leave all those antics aside, and we're here to talk about what we need to do to prepare for the next steps. I will give you my speculations on what might happen, but this is the kind coronavirus community. We're here to talk about the science. We're leaving the politics out. We do not want anyone to suffer from this disease, including the president. So if you are here to spew hate, to be divisive, to give your opinions on politics, this is not the format for you. We are here for the kind coronavirus community. If you are watching this on the replay, you can fast forward to the 5-minute mark. That's when I'll start my talk. In the meantime, we will say some hellos to wherever you are watching from. I am broadcasting over Facebook as well as YouTube. So show me where you are watching from. Claire Atkinson, my very good friend, is watching me. I am here to spew love and F-bombs. That's right, Mr. Matt Sims watching on YouTube. Where are you watching from? Stephanie is watching on YouTube from Montana. That is awesome. I love it. Michelle Noma is from Atlanta watching also on YouTube. Anchorage, Alaska, Missy is watching. Thank you, guys. Please hit share. My very good friend Mary Ryder is watching from Canada. Mary, thank you so much for sharing. Gina Baumgart from Wisconsin. You guys are in a hot, hot state. I hope you guys will stay very, very safe. Why is a bariatric surgeon talking about coronavirus? You might know me from my coronavirus video, How Coronavirus Kills You, back in March. That went viral. It's got 16 million views. I talk about coronavirus because my following is the morbidly obese. I am a weight loss surgeon. I am retired 2 years, but I still have a huge following for that. And we all know that the #1 risk factor for poor outcomes with coronavirus is the morbidly obese. So it is very much in keeping with my following, the people who watch me, listen to me, trust me, that I give them regular updates on what's happening with coronavirus. So thank you guys for hitting share. Mary Negri in Philadelphia, PA is watching on YouTube. Monroe, Louisiana. Amelia Lloyd, I grew up in Longview, Texas, Amelia, so we're basically neighbors. Henry Enriquez from Florida is watching. Mary Beto Anaya from Chicago is watching on YouTube. Thank you guys very much. Austin's in the house. I am actually in Houston currently. So Patty Kratz from Hudson, Florida is in the house. Thank you guys. We are going to talk about this blockbuster news. President Trump and First Lady tested positive coronavirus. What does this mean? What do we not know? What do we do know? And what does this mean moving forward? I will also talk about, please forgive me, but I have to pay the bills. I will talk about my weight loss challenge, which I only open once a month. So what I'd like to do is, while we're waiting for some viewers, is talk to you about weightlosschallenge.com. That is my main mission in life right now, is to help protect the obese population. Anyone overweight, you don't have to be surgical, you can be non-surgical, but I do a monthly challenge, and we just open it up at the end of the month. So we have just opened up. If you go to weightlosschallenge.com, you will see this page, weightlosschallenge.com. You get from me a daily email with tasks to do. You get access to not one, but 2 secret Facebook groups. We partner you up with 2, 3 accountability partners to make sure you stay on track. Plus, most importantly, you get a daily Facebook Live with me, breaking down the deeper mental, psychological sides. You have tons of testimonials to watch. The cost is less than $1 a day. Invest in yourself, and that's it for the commercial. All right. I hope you'll join us, weightlosschallenge.com. Appreciate you guys very much for checking that out. We've got 1 more minute and 30 more seconds. All right, 30 more seconds. Christine Whitaker says the challenge is the best gift to her life. That's awesome. We're going to keep the politics out of it. This is the kind coronavirus community. We're just going to talk about the science behind this, okay? Lost over 100 pounds after sleep with help Dr. videos and the challenge. Thank you, Veronica Anderson. That is awesome. Cynthia Dales is our exercise specialist in the challenge. New Jersey's in the house. She says it's well worth it. Thank you, Irene. That's awesome. Maria is 3 years and 128 pounds down. That's amazing. Mary Beth is in my challenge. She says, join the challenge. It's worth it. Okay, guys, let's get started. Okay. So in case you have not noticed, President Trump and First Lady tests positive for coronavirus. All right, so let's get started, guys. And welcome, everybody. I'm Dr. Duck Vuong. I am a world-famous bariatric surgeon, author of 13 books. I have been retired from surgery for a couple of years, but I have a very large bariatric community and following, and it's my passion in life to help people conquer the disease of obesity. Now, why am I talking about coronavirus? It's because coronavirus affects my main following. The #1 risk factor for poor outcomes from coronavirus is actually not age, but it's morbid obesity. All right. And in case you've missed it, why are we doing this? Here we go. This morning, well, in the wee hours of the morning, President Trump announced on Twitter that he and First Lady have tested positive for coronavirus. This is really, really big news. The news stations have, and it doesn't matter which news side you talk about, you follow, they have confirmed that President Trump and First Lady test positive for coronavirus. The White House has come out and confirmed it. The White House physicians have released a statement confirming that Trump and Melania Trump have tested positive for coronavirus. So this is not a hoax. It's not a political ploy, as far as we can tell. And we're leaving politics out of this. We're just going to talk about the ramifications of what this means, okay? So as best as we know, if you trust leaders, spokespeople, physicians out of the White House, the one that I really credit with is the White House physician has confirmed that President Trump and First Lady Melania have tested positive for coronavirus, and they are currently isolating in the White House. So please, let's leave the hoax talk, it's a ploy talk. I mean, I think if at this point, now that we are a full 12 hours into it, President Trump said this on Twitter at midnight. And so we've had a lot of time to vet this. The White House spokespeople have come out and confirmed it. So if anyone is still commenting that this is a hoax, this is an election campaign thing, then you are just a very confused sort of person. I don't, you kind of have to, this is probably the real deal, guys. So President Trump and the First Lady have tested positive. Now let's move on. Let's assume that that's the facts, and here's the implications. Okay, #2, President Trump is 74. Okay, so what are the 2 major risk factors for coronavirus? If you catch the coronavirus, not just catching it, but outcomes is what I'm talking about. Anybody can catch the coronavirus. In fact, it's called the novel coronavirus, which means all of us are at risk of catching it. Anybody can catch it. So catching coronavirus is 100%. So what is the risk factors for poor outcomes, right? The number one risk factor worldwide is age, but the number one risk factor in America is morbid obesity. Okay, morbid obesity. I can list the major risk factors, right? Obesity, age, but in addition to that, you really can't control your age. Time's just going to march on. But then obesity, number one. Number two is going to be diabetes. Number three, hypertension. And number four is pulmonary issues. If you have three of those, age, obesity, diabetes, hypertension, and previous lung disorders, it can be COPD, it can be poorly controlled asthma, it can be previous lung resections, lung cancers, right? Anything that has to do with respiratory. If you have three of the five, you are very, very high risk. So President Trump, let me just give you the facts. According to everything we know and his doctors, President Trump's current age is 74 years old. He is the oldest president in the United States history, and he's obese. You've all seen the pictures. I cannot comment on any other health factors, but we know with age and obesity, there comes high blood pressure, high cholesterol, diabetes. I'm not saying President Trump has any of those. All I'm saying is we know that President Trump has advanced age and obesity, which is two of the five major risk factors. Okay, so these are facts that you can't argue that these are facts. He's beyond overweight. He's actually in the obese category. All right, and so we can't deny that. Now, what is the wild card? The wild card, number three, wild card is this one. What we don't know is this fact. What was the viral load? By viral load, this is how much of the virus he absorbed, inhaled. When he was exposed, and oh, by the way, the CDC defines exposure. Significant exposure is being around someone who tested positive for 15 minutes and within 6 feet. So if you're with them 15 minutes or longer within 6 feet, that's considered a significant exposure. So he was clearly significantly exposed. We just don't know how much viral load he was introduced to. Viral load, as it turns out, is the key. Viral load means how much of the virus did you take in, right? You could be around someone who's positive, but if they're on the other side of the room or you're in an open air environment, then it's less likely. But if you are at a bar indoors, real close together because you can't hear because the music's playing, or you're celebrating, you're laughing, you're singing, right? You're yelling, then you're going to have an increased risk and chance of having an increased viral load. What we don't know is the viral load. In fact, we don't know for a fact that he caught it from his aide, right? His 29-year-old aide. I'm not going to mention her name just because, I want to protect her private. It's out there in the public news, but I personally don't want to mention her name. But she is 29 years old. She does have symptoms, okay? And we don't know for a fact that he caught it from her. He could have caught it from another person who caught it from her. We just don't know where he falls down in the chain. So we don't know the viral load. The viral load is the key missing factor of this entire news story, all right? So what can I tell you that's true? Number 4. Hey, if this is helpful for y'all, or this is good, can you please hit share, okay? White House confirms. Okay. This is breaking news right here. The White House speaker, the White House has come out and confirmed that Trump has mild symptoms. Now, the doctor, the White House physician, in his statement overnight, said that the president is doing well, and is isolated. But he did not say anything about his symptoms. But this morning, roughly about 2 hours ago, the White House has come out and confirmed that Trump has mild symptoms. We don't know what mild symptoms mean, whether he's feeling achy. Now, you guys most of y'all have had the flu before, or flu-like symptoms, and the coronavirus starts initially with flu-like symptoms, right? So you're going to have a little body ache, you don't feel right, you eventually leads to a fever, and then eventually leads to like loss of taste and smell, etc., and then respiratory distress later on. So depending on his viral load, what will happen next? Now, if it was not very high, then he has about a 95% chance of recovery, of non-death. I shall say non-death. So number 5, I would say, depending on viral load, Trump has, from what we know, about a 95% chance of non-death. Now, I don't like it when people say things like, oh, most people survive, this is not a bad virus, 99% survive, etc. I would say that is a false statement of what really happens. What really happens is, the current data is a 4% death rate. So 96% don't die. 96% don't die. So I should say 95 to 96%, right? But that's overall. Now, if his viral load was really heavy, okay, this is going to be number 6. If viral load was heavy, he will develop progressing symptoms. This is where it gets dangerous, guys. And I don't want you to think I'm fear-mongering. I'm just trying to state the medical facts as we have discovered and learned about coronavirus, right? Through the last 6 months of this pandemic. We now know if viral load was heavy, he, given his two comorbidities that I know of, his age and his obesity, he will develop progressing symptoms. And these are all the symptoms that we are aware of, okay? We are very aware that it becomes a respiratory, he might or might not spike fever. Let me talk about fever here in a second. But it will lead to breathing issues, etc., tiredness, labored breathing. That's if you hear that, do not be alarmed if you see that the White House transfers President Trump to the hospital or a secure location to watch him closer. That's what they will say. So the next step you will hear is, something along the lines of, we want to watch him closer. It'll be some sort of wording like this, because they don't want to cause an alarm or panic. So in medical speak, and you guys listen, comment if you guys have experienced this, and not just coronavirus, but if you've had a loved one, a mom, a dad, a grandfather who was in the hospital and the physician said something like, we want to transfer him or her to ICU so we can watch him closer. That's going to be the next speak, guys. If the viral load is heavy, and if President Trump doesn't get better here, and I'm going to tell you, it's going to be within the next 24 hours, they're going to say, we want to watch him closer. That's what you will hear come out. So the next 1 to 2 days, he's either going to get better or he's going to get worse, in which case you will hear, we want to watch him closer. This is physicians trying to not alarm the public. As you can imagine, the president of the United States, the most powerful man on the planet, if he were to get ill, that could be bad things for our country. And as I am nonpartisan, I am apolitical. This is not a political statement. I do not want to see anybody suffer or die from this disease and this virus. So please do not make this political. Please do not assume I'm liberal. Do not assume I'm conservative. I am a physician, trained surgeon, retired, but I have been very much in the forefront with keeping up with the coronavirus because it affects my following. And President Trump has 2 of the 5 major comorbidities that I'm aware of. He might have other ones, but his age of 74, his obesity, he might have high blood pressure, he might have diabetes, he might have, and we don't know any of that stuff. It's not released to the public. All we are released is, he's in good health. That's fine. But we can tell for a fact that we know his age is 74. We know he's overweight to the obese category. So he has 2 of the 5, right? The next step we want to watch him closer. So this is how it works, which is as this disease progresses, we have to watch him very carefully. We have precedent. So precedent means example, right? Is Prime Minister Boris Johnson from the UK. Who remembers back in June, I think, May, June, the Prime Minister of UK, Boris Johnson, was hospitalized with coronavirus. He was in the hospital. He was in ICU. I don't think they ended up intubating him. I could be wrong on that. Please don't quote me. But I know for a fact he was in ICU. I think that they were able to keep him off the ventilator. He made a recovery. He's back working. After that, he locked down the country. He took it much more seriously, coronavirus, much more seriously. And UK was able to not just flatten the curve, but to go get past the first wave and enjoy a reasonable summer. And now they are currently experiencing their second wave. Okay. I want to make sure you understand this, that this is tip number 9. USA is still, this is going to surprise some people. Oops. I didn't mean to put apostrophe. So excuse my spelling there. I didn't mean to put the apostrophe. The USA is still in its first wave. USA is still in its first wave. Excuse the typo. We flattened the curve. We started to go down. Then we reopened around the 20,000 cases a day mark instead of the 2,000-3,000 mark or 1,000 or 100 mark. We reopened at 20,000. We spiked back up to 80,000 cases a day. We came back down to about 35,000. We reopened to public schools and Labor Day weekend. Now we're back up at 45,000 cases a day. And somehow we are winning. We are not winning. We are not turning the corner. This is not good. Okay, so I want to be very clear. We are still in our first wave in the United States. And I've been warning people in my challenge, check out weightlosschallenge.com, since June. Who remembers, since June in my weight loss challenge, I've been saying we are going to have a worse fall because, and I named them. I said we have a higher than average hurricane season. We are already on hurricane tropical storm beta. Like we have gone through the 26 letters of the alphabet, the name storms, and then we go into the Greek alphabet, and we're already on beta. I said we were going to have higher than normal wildfires because of La Nina, which is the wind system, and lack of rains, very dry, and we have record-setting wildfires. I said we were going to have crazy protests, that it wasn't going to end with George Floyd. It was going to keep going, and we have. And then I've said that we were going to reopen colleges and schools when we shouldn't be, and they are doing that. And then I said it coincides with the influenza season, so people are going to get really, really frustrated, which it has. I've been saying this since June, and you can see in the comment sections, people are, are agreeing with me that there's like, yes, we were in the challenge. He's totally said it. We've been preparing for this, etc. I've also in the challenge talked about our stock market is not tied to our economy anymore. This is a fake recovery. This is not good times for the average person. We have record unemployment, record layoffs. Anyway, so what is in store for us? It's mass chaos, okay? So when some people got mad at me back in March, when I started talking about coronavirus and I was cussing, all right, pin the ears on the kids real quick. I was like, listen, you fuckers, like people are gonna die. You're gonna be married grandmother because you won't put on a fucking mask. Who remembers this, right? I was very angry about it. And then I said, hey, and people were calling me fearmonger. You don't know what you're talking about. You need to stick to your lane. You're a bariatric surgeon. You're not a virologist. You don't know anything about. I was like, dude, you need to fucking put on a mask. Who remembers this? I went back and forth back in March and April with these dickheads, right? Now what's happened is exactly what I said. When things are going to be mass panic, I need to be the calm voice. So here's my last message for you guys today, is that we must, as a country, and I know it's hard, we must all stay calm, guys. We must keep politics out of this. We must stay calm. President of the United States, regardless of how you think about him, is a human being, and any death is not good. We want to stay calm. We have to see how this goes. We can't spread, false rumors. We can't say this is a ploy or a political thing or debate issue or whatever, right? We must all stay calm. All right, now I'm not done yet. Okay, we got to all stay calm. What I want to talk about real briefly is what happens next. Okay, so number 11, what happens next if Trump dies? I am not wishing the president dies. I am totally apolitical. I don't want anybody to die. I don't care your politics. I looked this up, and I'm going to put this on my fan page, but let me share my screen with you real quick to show you, because I broke this down, and I will share this on my fan page later so that y'all can share it with your friends and family, okay? So here's what's going to happen. Let me share my fan page. Where did it go? Oh, here it is. Sorry about that. Okay, so can y'all see my page here? Okay. I created this here for you guys. What happens if Trump dies? The source is USA.gov. So this is .gov is a governmental domain. So this is official, right? What happens if Trump dies? The next in line is Vice President Mike Pence. He's a Republican. Obviously, he's the vice president. So he's the same party as Trump. Vice President Mike Pence, who has just announced that he and his wife have tested negative. But remember, testing negative does not guarantee that you won't catch it later. There can be a window of a false negative. Vice President Mike Pence, okay? If Mike Pence were to die, and I'm not wishing Mike Pence to die, I'm just telling you the chain of succession here. Second, the number 2 person in line is Speaker of the House, who is Democrat Nancy Pelosi. And I'm not trying to make this political. She's, some people like her, some people don't, but this is the order. Number 3. Now, number 3 is going to freak some of y'all out, because some of y'all like, what the fuck is President pro tempore of the Senate? You know, who is that? President pro? You never even heard of that position. President pro tempore of the Senate is a Republican senator from Iowa, which is a little state in the United States, named Chuck Grassley. Who's heard of Chuck Grassley? I mean, he's not in the news. We don't know who he is. But dude, Trump dies, Pence dies, because they've all been around each other. There's a very good chance that they could have been exposed and come down with this. Mike Pence, he's thinner. He's not quite as old as Trump. Nancy Pelosi's pretty old. She's pretty frail. There's a good chance. Please, no, I'm not fear-mongering. I'm just laying out the facts for you guys. I don't know anything about Republican Senator Chuck Grassley. Okay, so if something happens to Chuck Grassley, who's next? Number 4, it's the Secretary of State, Mike Pompeo. Mike Pompeo. Now, he's appointed by Trump, so I'm assuming he's most likely going to be a Republican. Secretary of Treasury, Steven Mnuchin, also a close Trump ally. He's 5th. Number 6 is the Secretary of Defense, Mark Esper. Mark Esper. Right? Secretary of Defense. Makes sense. You want to keep the country safe. Next number, Attorney General. Law. You need law and order. That's William Barr. Now, there's a lot of politics around William Barr and Trump using William Barr and the attorney and the, you know, I don't want to get into that if it's for personal use, etc. You guys understand what I'm trying to say. What I will say, I can't remember. They have it spelled out to like 12 or 14 or 15 positions. You can go to USA.gov to check this out. But at no time, zero, at no time is there the Surgeon General. That we are in the middle of a medical pandemic, and in the United States, there is no succession. At no time is the Surgeon General ever in line to become president. In fact, the only person that's kind of healthy by health related is number 12 in line is the Secretary of the Health and Human Services, Alex Azar. He's number 12 in line, and I don't know if he has a medical degree. I honestly have not had the time to look that up. Okay, so that's politics aside. That is what we are looking at, and I will put that on my fan page for you to share. Number 11. It is never the Surgeon General, which I think is crazy. This is really crazy. Okay, so I'm an Asian immigrant. I'm one of the Vietnamese boat people. I came over to the United States, and I had to study and learn to take the. I'm now a U.S. citizen. You can't deport my ass, so don't even try, you haters out there. I can't be deported. I'm a U.S. citizen now. And I had to study to take the exam, and I never learned anything, memorized anything past the Speaker of the House. So it was new to me. President pro tempore of the Senate, Chuck Grassley, Secretary of State, Mike Pompeo, but never ever is there the Surgeon General, the one doctor in the Treasury. So that's kind of crazy. Okay. Please keep the politics out of it. This is the kind coronavirus community. The last thing I will say is this, for those watching. If this is helpful, please hit share. I'm not your friend share, not the singer share, but please hit the share button because I hopefully am spreading out some good information that is not politically biased. I'm just telling you what we know. The president has mild symptoms. The White House has confirmed that he's positive, and Melania Trump. Melania has no symptoms. They say the White House has confirmed that the president has mild symptoms. That's all I know. We also know that Vice President Pence and his wife have come out and said that they are negative. Okay. So what we need to do next is, it's going to be a little bit controversial, okay? I apologize, but I've been telling you guys for this last month, okay, these rapid tests. I'm the only crazy ass person who have put together these rapid tests at home. I sell these rapid tests, okay? And you guys have been thinking this whole time that the president and the higher ups, when they say they've been tested daily, we in our heads assume they're having the nasal swab, the throat swab, or whatever. They are not. They have not been tested with these nasal swabs. I mean, you think the president's going to, and Melania is going to let this Q-tip get stuck up her nose? Hell no. They've been doing these rapid tests I've been telling y'all about. They've been doing these rapid tests, right? And so I have a friend who has a company that imports these rapid tests, and they sell them to businesses, but they're not available to the everyday person. I'm the one who's crazy enough to say, you know what? The only way we're going to get past this is more frequent testing. So if you order this from a business or whatever, they don't send it to you in these little kits. I put these kits together. It's got everything you need. It's got the rapid test. It's a little pinprick, a little pinprick, just like a diabetic test. So my friend who's been selling these to businesses says, hey, doc, it's just a pinprick. And I was like, and he sent me a test, and I was like, this is no different than diabetes. He goes, yeah, but because we're a business, we have to bring in nurse. Any healthcare provider has to administer the test. If you read the requirements, it has to be administered by a healthcare professional. It can be a nurse's aide, it can be a nurse, it can be a doctor, it can be whatever. And I was like, this is just like diabetes. If I diagnose the patient with diabetes, I don't take the time to tell them how to check their blood sugars. My nurse comes in, or more likely my nurse's aide comes in and says, hey, here's a little lancet. This is what you get. Here's the little lancet. You prick your finger, you put it on the swab, and you put it into your machine, and it reads your blood sugar. I said, that rapid test is no different than a pinprick. Why are they not allowing us to do this at home? Well, because once you have this narrative that you need this nose test, and then you have to send this nose test to the CDs to a lab test, and then they have to run the PCR, people are assuming that's all they have to do. So who remembers when people remember all the pictures of the long lines of cars, and people were waiting in the cars for hours, 3, 4, 5, 6 hours to get this nasal swab, and then the labs got so overwhelmed that people were not getting results back to 10, 14 days. And they were doing this batching thing. So people were getting told they were positive, even though they never even took a sample because they were batched in. I can explain all that stuff to you guys, right? And the reality is the whole fucking time they've been taking these rapid tests that they say you can't do at home. Now, what's going to happen? They have they're going to send out like 100 million of these to businesses in the States. And you guys are going to start getting this. And I was like, I told y'all, right? So some people might not like me for saying this, but I sell these. These go on Amazon, and your current labs, your doctor's offices are selling these for about $200 each, $200. You can get them from me. I give you everything I need, and I can sell them for $200, but I don't because I know you need more rapid testing. You need more frequent testing. I send you the glove, the alcohol swipe. You'll get the Band-Aid. You get the lance. You'll get the buffer solution, and you'll get the test. You prick your finger. You put it in the test. You drop the buffer on there, and in 10 minutes, you get the results at home. You don't send it to a lab. It tests your antibodies. It tests AGG and AGM. Now listen, of course, if they're going to put nasal swabs out, they're going to require people to take nasal swabs. Of course, they're going to put out information that says this doesn't test for active infection. Yes, it does. Listen, first of all, let me tell you a couple of things. Is this FDA approved, Dr. Vong? Is this FDA approved, Dr. Vong? There are no FDA approved COVID tests. They are all what's called EUA. They are all emergency use, okay? So they are all under what's called the Emergency Use Act. So this test that I have is under the Emergency Use Act. They are under Emergency Use Act. Okay. And I only have a limited supply. So if you're interested, you need to message me. You need to message me on my fan page, Dr. Duck Vong. but I only have a limited supply, and I have these little kits. They are all EUA. So this is on the EUA. I promise you, the White House, the professional sports athletes, they are using some form of this test, something like this. They said it was the Abbott test. So some form of this test. So you take this at home. I say it's like a pregnancy test, but don't be pissing on my pregnancy test. It's actually a finger prick. You read it. Now, what happens if you get a pregnancy test positive? If you're at home and you take a pregnancy test positive, what do? You call your doctor. You call your doctor. What do? They confirm it with what? They confirm it with a blood test. They confirm it with a blood test. So this is the same thing. This is not meant for you to travel. You do not have to report your results. This is you take it at home. Now you know your status. What's your status? And you know, I test myself regularly. I test my family regularly. If we travel, I test my friends and family. I have a next door neighbor who has a 7-year-old child. I have a 4-year-old child. They like to play together. I test them and their family, right? So this is what it's all about. If you're a grandmother who has not seen your grandbaby, you need this test. If you are trying to homeschool a bunch of kids, you need this test. If you're running a community center, you need this test. If you have any sort of get together, Jewish New Year's, anything where you're gonna have people together, test them. It's 95% accurate. The nasal swabs, what they don't tell you, the nasal swabs at best are only 70% accurate, 7-0. This is 95% accurate. You take it at home. You get results in 10 minutes. It's a little pinprick. If it tests positive, what do? It's like a pregnancy test. You call your doctor to confirm. What do? Then they check your blood test. Then they'll confirm it with a blood test. So these tests are selling online for anywhere from $200 to $250. For the people watching, I wholesale these for my followers. If it's not for you, if you're not a believer, if you think it's hoax, fine, you can go away. I don't care. I'm only talking for people who want to get back to normalcy. You saw me traveling this summer. I went to Washington, to Jackson Hole, to Colorado. I did that because I tested regularly, and I tested my friends and family that I stayed with, right? If you are watching this, I will wholesale this to you at $50 a test, minimum order of $40. So that's $2,000. And you can keep some for yourself. I want you to keep some for yourself. If you resold 20 of them at $100 each, you're saving everybody else money because people are being charged $150, $200, $250 a test. You're only charging, and I mail out you a kit just like this. You sell 20 of them for $100. You're saving the other person money, plus you're making back your investment, plus you have 20 for yourself and your family. Or you like, hey, doc, it's just me and my husband, or me and a few of us. Sell all the other ones for, I say 5 for $500, $500. And this is a nice little source of income. Plus you're saving money listen, it's a win-win-win. You're saving money for your friends and loved ones who are getting ripped off. They're getting ripped off of the nasal. No, Dr. Vong, it's free testing. It's not fucking free testing. Listen, guys, it's your taxpayer dollars. There's no free lunch. Does that make sense? All right. So if you want to purchase rapid tests, message me. Send me a message on my fan page, okay? To purchase the rapid test, just message me. Again, the price is $50 a test. You get a whole test kit, $50 per test kit, minimum order $40, so that's $2,000. They are reselling for $100 to $125 like hotcakes. Promise you, okay? Now, next thing, weightlosschallenge.com. You want to get ahead of this. This is all the stuff I tell people in my challenge, right? Check out those scrolling behind at the bottom there, weightlosschallenge.com. You're seeing that scroll because that's what I've been teaching. We've been preparing people in my challenge about what's coming with coronavirus, worst case scenarios, this fall's pandemic. They are losing weight. It's not just for weight loss surgery patients. We have about 1/3 of people in my challenge. 1/3 are not have not had surgery. About 1/3 have not had surgery, right? So this is good for anybody. I hope you'll take out the challenge. Let me pay the bills real quick. So share my screen one more time. I want to walk you to the weightloschallenge.com. All right, let me walk you to the weightloschallenge.com real quick. So if you go to weightloschallenge.com, you'll get to this page. It says, can y'all see this? Dr. V's Weight Loss Challenge. We are open up for October now. October is my birth month. We're going back to basics. We're all going back to what makes us successful. For less than $1 a day, that you get help with all of this. You can take this if it's non-surgical.
You'll have an opportunity to join us for small 6 people weekly accountability groups sessions where I will personally lead them, and then you can hear from other people what they've tried and done to help them be successful. Or if you want more personalized attention, this is the first time I've ever offered this, but you get to sign up and get one-on-one coaching with me. Now, what is coaching? Like, we've all had coaches. Michael Jordan has coaches. Tiger Woods has coaches. I've had coaches. I've had mentors. And my life really changed when I got a coach and a mentor. And you have an opportunity today, when you sign up, to choose to have me as your mentor. This means a weekly call where I help you get through your challenges and set a pathway for your goals. That's what this challenge is. It's not for everybody. And if it's not for you, if it's not right for you this time, that's okay. You can watch all my free videos on YouTube. You can see my Facebook Lives on my fan page. But if you really want to take your surgery up to the next level, if you really want to take your life up to the next level, I hope you'll join me in this challenge. All right?
All right. So what do you get? You get a daily Facebook Live with me personally, and a daily email with a list of tasks to do. We'll partner you up with an accountability partner. You can have 2, 3. You can have them all over the world. They don't have to be like you. In fact, we want them different from you so you can see a different perspective. And we give you access to not 1, but 2 secret Facebook groups where I'm in there all the time interacting with you. Here's some amazing customer testimonials. Let me see, what's one I haven't done in a while. Let's do tests here real quick.
Hey everyone, I just wanted to take a couple minutes and talk to you about Dr. V's Weight Loss Challenge. I joined this challenge thankfully just before COVID put me into a remote work environment. I'm so grateful I found Dr. V. I am a bariatric patient 4 years out, and you don't have to be a bariatric patient to join this group. But I've been in many weight loss groups trying to make sure that I can maintain this weight loss and finally get to my goal weight. And Dr. V has provided an opportunity to understand the mind part and to provide me with the tools so that I can create the best possible life. He's helping me to get ready as COVID changes what our new normal looks like. You know, how do I want to garden and create my own foods? How is money going to impact me? Economy? What is my life going to look like as things open up and as this world changes? For me, so many people I hear talking about the COVID-15. Well, I can probably say that through this challenge, my COVID-15 is a reduction in weight. It's almost 15 pounds down. I now have learned skills so that I can make better choices and that I can catch myself and reel myself in when I start the self-beating that usually cause me to fall off the way again. I would highly recommend this challenge to everybody. I hope you join us. Through these tools, I know that I'm going to get all the way to my goal weight. Especially if I've made it this far without gaining the COVID-15, I've lost the COVID-15. So come and join us and learn all areas of your life and live the best life that you have. Thanks.
See, that last point, live the best life that you have. Live the best life that you can. That's what this challenge is about. That's why we cover COVID. We talk about finances. We talk about food. We talk about diet. We talk about the psychological, emotional impacts. You'll get monthly elimination goals. This month for October, it's actually no snacking. We're going to get rid of all your snacking. We have weekend exercise tips with our triple certified trainer here, Cynthia Dales. I also have a cook who has taught over 300 people how to cook. And she does two sessions a month. This is a living challenge. It grows as you grow. I deal with all of these topics, emotional, psychological, for less than $1 a day. I like to end it with this. Take a chance to make a change. Your life will not change if you won't take a chance and if you won't commit. Just 27 bucks, guys, $27. Commit to $27 for yourself. You won't regret it. If you are unwilling to commit $27 to yourself, I can understand why you're struggling, right? So that's it for the commercial. I'd like to take some questions for you real quick. All right, let me see. I want to buy the COVID tests. You can message me. You can message me on on my fan page on Facebook. Ashley Kirby's in the challenge. It's so worth the money. You are worth it. They are single use, very discreet, very quick. She has bought some COVID tests. Michelle O'Connor, you saw her picture there. This challenge has changed my life forever. Anxiety and depression, free weight regain, gone. That's awesome. So Christina Whitaker is in my challenge. Invest in yourself. Best decision she's made. Absolutely. It's the only way we're going to get through this, guys. I promise you, we need more testing, not less. More regular testing, recent regular testing, and rapid results. Thoughts, updated thoughts on school. I think New York opened this week. I think they'll shut back down because there's an upturn in New York City and New Jersey, which I said was going to be the epicenter of the second wave. Now, U.S. is in their first wave, but in New York, they crushed it down. New York, New Jersey were able to get their numbers back down. So they are going to experience a second wave in that. So I think they'll shut back down. I think colleges are an issue. There have been over 100,000 college students who've tested positive. We also have workers, like 19,000 Amazon workers have tested positive. It's pretty crazy. Eileen Fry, I've learned so much being in the group. Best decision ever. Thank you. Angie, you're definitely worth it. Lee's in my challenge. Do you think flu season will start up early? Weather has been crazy. It has already started up. We were already having positive tests for influenza. So yes, it will. You're going to start seeing people walking around in grocery stores, running nose, coughing, sneezing, and people are going to panic because they don't know if it's COVID or what. So we have to stay calm. We have to stay calm. There's not going to be much of a tourist season, even though your governor has opened up Florida back to normal, which I think is crazy. Oh, I saw something on YouTube. Lauren Hall says most people don't think of this until they have symptoms. You're absolutely right. By time you have symptoms, you have already been spreading it for about 4 to 5 days. Regular testing is the key. No, you cannot. Sorry, Robert Simpson. This is the cost. That's where it is. Now, this is a good point, Barbara K. Most likely, Trump himself did not infect Biden. They socially distanced on the stage. I do not think the men came in contact with each other before the meeting. There's possibility that their team members interacted so they could agree on debates and terms and whatever. But there's a good chance that was very minimal. But he is older, so it is definitely an issue. His family and the people in the audience were not wearing masks. But more problematic is last night, Trump had an indoor gathering, I think in Wisconsin or Minnesota or somewhere like that. It is very problematic. Cher's in my challenge. She says, definitely get it. Go to weightlosschallenge.com. They did not shake hands, at least not on camera, right? So, this hour flew by. I think for the most part, you guys were really, really good. Not too many negative comments. This is not meant to be political. I hope you guys understand. I'm trying to help everybody get over this. and get back to normalcy. And the way we do it is to really keep politics out of it. We don't want anyone getting sick. We don't want anyone dying from this, but people will die from this. And the sooner we start wearing masks, hand washing, social distancing, rapid testing, these are available. This is what I sell, promote, much cheaper than what you can get online, because I want to spread it out. And that's how we're going to get over this. Okay. I will be back tomorrow and Sunday and possibly Monday. Yesterday was my birthday. Thank you, by the way, for everybody who wished me happy birthday. I appreciated that. And trust me, everybody, they are not just socially isolating. The doctors know they are repeatedly testing these people who have tested negative, because they could turn positive. So they should be isolated, and they should have a COVID test repeated every single day. That would be my recommendation, but so we will see. All right. Love you guys. Stay calm. Be kind to each other. That's what this community is about. And I'll see you tomorrow for another update. Thank you, guys.